Hello and welcome to the latest episode of the Debrief. Liverpool have just beaten West Ham United 3-2 at Anfield to restore their 22-point lead at the top of the Premier League table. Gorst, Liverpool, they haven't lost at home for 2-3 years. They've pretty much won every game at home for the past year. Struggling West Ham, it should have been a stroll in the park, but they obviously didn't get the script.
Yeah, well, we were saying, well, I know I was before the game in our live blog, that if Liverpool just show it with the right attitude, the right mentality, then they're going to win this game comfortably. And you never really think that Liverpool are going to approach it in anything other than an uber professional mindset, because that's just the way Jurgen Klopp has drilled his team throughout the season. Every time he speaks to them, they just talk about the next game, one win at a time, one game at a time, and you never really expect them to be a little bit complacent. I wouldn't suggest that they were here tonight either. It's just a case of West Ham perhaps were maybe taking a little bit, maybe caught Liverpool by surprise with the equaliser from the corner, and they kind of dug in and worked hard and fought for everything that they made Liverpool work for everything that they got. I was at the London Stadium less than a month ago when Liverpool barely got out to second gear and cruised to a 2-0 win, but once they got the equaliser, West Ham, it always felt like it was going to be a little bit more of a difficult game, and Liverpool needed the cop behind them tonight. Jurgen Klopp called for it before the game. He knows how important that the fans are to this club, this type of night. Create an atmosphere that helps the players to thrive. And ultimately, once it went to 2-1 to West Ham, then that's exactly what the cop did. And fair play to them, the players responded, and eventually they fought back. But I think it'll be when you look back on the season, it'll be one that we thought maybe shouldn't have been this tough, but 3 points at 3 points, and now Liverpool, 4 wins from first Premier League title first Premier League title, first league title in 30 years. But yeah, it was a tough night.
It's one where you get that early goal from Gini Wijnaldum, you expect it to be an easy night on the pitch. Perhaps Liverpool got too complacent from that, thinking, that's job done, we're going to stroll now.
I wouldn't even suggest that. I just think West Ham responded quite quick, didn't they? I think there was 3 minutes between Wijnaldum's goal and Diop's goal, and I think that was a bit of a jolt to everyone in the stadium, and maybe the players as well. I don't think Liverpool took them lightly, but I think West Ham kind of benefited from scoring so early. Liverpool have now conceded 2 corners, haven't they, in the last 2 games, and that might be something to look at on the training pitch. There hasn't been too many gripes or criticisms of the players, across this season, but they've conceded another one from a corner tonight. Conceded 2 after going so long without conceding. Obviously, Raul Jimenez was the only one who scored in 11 games, I think, against Liverpool. They've now conceded 2 tonight. No crisis by any stretch, but it might be just something just to keep an eye on, because when everything else seems to be working so well, you've got to look at what might need tightening up, and a little bit of work here and there on the pitch, and maybe that might be something, defending set pieces. But don't think Liverpool will be too concerned long term. That they are marching on, aren't they, towards the title. 22 points now between them and Manchester City, and you're probably looking now at thinking that Liverpool might win this by 25, 6, 7, possibly even 30 points. It sounds remarkable to say after waiting so long for the title, but that's the way they're going at the moment. Just a fantastic team.
And while we might not have expected this tight 3-2 victory, Mohamed Salah and Sadio Mane both love scoring goals against West Ham.
Yeah.
Both did it again.
Yeah, Salah's up to 19 now for the season, I think, possibly. He's going to become the first player since Michael Owen actually to scored 20 or more in 3 consecutive seasons, and I think he's up to maybe 15 in the Premier League now, so 5 more, and he'll be the first one to do that in the league since Robbie Fowler back in 1997. I know Monday Night Football this evening have done is Salah underrated by Liverpool supporters? I think it's an interesting question. I think loads of people would say absolutely no chance, and there may be some who perhaps do take his ability to score big goals at big times for granted a little bit. Doesn't really seem to be the one that Liverpool fans talk about when they talk about how good Roberto Firmino is, and Sadio Mane has been incredible for so long. But I think when Liverpool needs something big, Salah seems to be the one to provide it, and he's come up trumps again tonight. Fabianski will probably think he should have saved it. It's squaring through his grasp, if you haven't seen it, through his legs and through his grasp to make it 2-2. But once Salah did score that, you didn't really feel like West Ham were going to get anything from this game, and so we're told with Mane once again on the spot, and he had one disallowed, didn't he, for correctly for offside. But I thought both of those 2 played very well, particularly second half.
And it was such a strange night for the goalkeepers. Obviously, Fabianski, you could argue he's at fault for 2 of the goals. Alisson clearly should have done better for the first one. Don't really expect to see that at Anfield.
No, but I wouldn't be too critical of Alisson. He's come up trumps right at the end there when Jared Bowen's gone clean through. It was a wonderful ball from Michael Antonio, I think, and Alisson's raced out, and I think Bowen's waited for him to go down, and it was a bit of brinksmanship. Alisson stayed on his feet and eventually saved it with his chest, and that could easily have been 3-3. So he's dragged Liverpool out the fire again, and we can't really be too critical of who is, I feel myself anyway, the world's best goalkeeper.
And how can we, like Liverpool, they always find a way to win. There's moments like in previous seasons where you think you're 2-1 down, Liverpool going to drop points here. And then even when it gets to 2, you think, oh, they're just going to get a win out. There's something special about this team.
Yeah, it's just the mentality, isn't it? They just keep going, keep plugging away. They never panic. They just play their game right until the very final whistle. And it sounds simple, but when you've got players of that quality sticking to it, eventually you're going to create an opening from somewhere, and invariably Liverpool take it. I mean, I know you hear loads of things, don't you? You know, whoever you speak to, or whether it's social media or what about this league not being that strong. But Liverpool have, are running away with this league, but they haven't battered many teams. You can probably count on one hand the amount of games where it's been done and dusted quite early on. Once again, they've been involved right until the very death of this game against this, supposedly struggling West Ham side who've matched Liverpool for long periods and frustrated them and done well to shut them out. But Liverpool just find a way, don't they, every time, and that is why they are where they are, and why the rest of the league is just mixing it, with each other. Liverpool are so far ahead of everyone else, it's beyond belief. And I don't think that's because, they obviously are the best team in the league, but I don't think they are. I don't think it's a bit of a joke league where it's a farce. I think Liverpool have just come up trumps when they've needed to virtually every week. I don't think there's, as I say, there's only a handful of games that Liverpool have sold a victory, and we've been able to say that they're going to win this within the hour mark or 70 minutes. And once again, it was just another perfect example of that, like it was at Norwich. What was it, 9 days ago now?
If I cast your mind back a week to Madrid, an off night for the two full-backs there, but they've come up trumps tonight. Trent's got 2 assists, would have had 3 if it wasn't for the linesman's flag. Robertson's got 1 as well. They're just incredible at putting the ball in the box. Yeah,
Liverpool's chief creators, aren't they? We always say about the midfield, and they've got their own role. The full-backs have got their own role, and okay, it wasn't either's best night in Madrid, but they're up against the top side who had a game plan and had something to hold on to from very early on. But tonight I thought Trent in particular was excellent down that right. He was unlucky not to have that 3rd assist, wasn't he, as you say. Thought his cross for Wijnaldum's header was right on the money. A welcome return to form for both.
And if we look at the engine room now, obviously no Jordan Henderson, Naby Keita's come in. It was an opportunity for him. Jurgen Klopp said in the past he needs game time to get into some rhythm, but he didn't really take his chance tonight.
He didn't know. It's a shame because he was in such great form before Christmas, and then he picked up that injury in the warm-up against Sheffield United and has kind of struggled to splutter into life again, and it was a big opportunity for him tonight, and it's probably one that's passed him by. I thought Oxlade-Chamberlain was a lot stronger when he come on, a lot more inventive, a lot more progressive with the ball, and maybe it's just an off night for Keita, one of those, and Klopp's got so many options in that midfield engine room that it's not going to be one that's going to concern him too much. I think it was just one of those where Oxlade-Chamberlain looked brighter than him when he come on, and it'll be another horses for courses approach when they go to Watford on Saturday.
Oxlade-Chamberlain made such an impact when he came on. Klopp himself said he helped lift the crowd. I think his first touch was a shot from 30 yards. It's only just gone wide. You'd imagine, looking to the weekend now, he's probably got that shirt for the weekend. Yeah,
you think so. I think if you're looking for that progressive attacking midfield role, it's between him and Keita, isn't it? And there's no question who had the better of it tonight. I thought Oxlade-Chamberlain was excellent when he come on, and I said as much in our live blog, and I think he might have just played his way into the game on Saturday at Vicarage Road at a time when James Milner's injured, and obviously Jordan Henderson's going to be sidelined for a few weeks. So you imagine it's going to be Fabinho and Wijnaldum, and then one again of either Keita or Oxlade-Chamberlain, and for me, on the back of that performance, it's got to be Oxlade-Chamberlain.
Is there any concern as well in how Liverpool performed without Henderson, without Milner? They're experienced players, they've got that leadership, and Liverpool do seem to be lacking something when you don't have one of them in midfield.
Yeah, look, let's face it, Jordan Henderson's probably in the form of his Liverpool career, isn't he? And any team at the moment with the way he's playing, and he's been so determined, snapping into tackles, passing it round superbly. I think any team would miss him at the moment, so it's no great shakes to see Liverpool maybe missing a little bit tonight in that midfield area, but I think they've got enough cover long term to cope without him for a few weeks. Let's face it, they only need 4 wins, don't they? He'll hopefully be back sooner rather than later, and he'll be coming back at just the right time to maybe lift that Premier League trophy.
And that's 3 games since the winter break where Liverpool haven't been at their best. Any concern there, or do you reckon it's just long season, it's beginning to take its toll, and they're going to finish on strong?
Yeah, I think I don't think it's something that's going to be hugely detrimental to them. We've just spoke to Virgil van Dijk in the mix on behind us, and he said he was happy to have the break and he welcomed it. He doesn't really feel that there's anything missing since that 2 weeks off. And Jordan Henderson said something similar at Norwich last week. I think the players have been delighted to get that break, that rest that comes just the right time. I think it's probably just a bit of a coincidence that they've all been half-fought games since the return of action at Norwich. Let's face it, they've still got 6 points from 6 in the Premier League. A little bit unlucky against Atletico after going down early on, but long term I wouldn't imagine there'd be any grave concerns about that.